it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go
No,
lefty.
we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scaccia.
Hi.
Also with us, as always, the producer, Austin Van Buren. What's going on, Austin?
Welcome.
We got two finalists from the club tournament this weekend in the house. The champion of the Town and Country Lanes Tournament Club, Anthony Scaccia. Congratulations on your big win this weekend. I think you took home the check of $100.
I think yeah. That's about as much as it was. It's always good to get out there and succeed. Thank you, Pizza Wings.
Pizza Wings, welcome to the show with his comments, as always. Holding up Anthony with a big boo.
We have a third final.
Steely Bones, how you doing tonight?
Bones was also there. Steely Bones was our third place guy.
Yep.
I did win this week. So before you ask me how my week's been, we'll just start off with me, I guess, because it's all about me.
Well, hang on a second. Before we get to that, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. And let's see. If you can't watch on YouTube, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service like Apple iTunes and Spotify, all that good stuff. While you're at it, go to our Etsy shop. Check out our t-shirts, hats, all that good stuff. And you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And what else do I usually go over? I don't know. But tonight we're going to talk about our weekend like we always do. And then we're going to get into the PBA Players Championship and also this urethane nonsense, raising the hardness up. We're going to talk about the scores for sure and how much this durometer readings really appears to not matter at all because
Kyle's got some opinions on the league already.
Yeah. But the hardness levels clearly do not matter when it comes to urethane because it's wild out there. So anyway, back to what Anthony was talking about. This weekend, tournament club, Mark Roth, 42 feet. The champion was talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we showed up for tournament club. It was our member guest, so we go with something a little softer. I brought my buddy in. We were leading for doubles after 3, I believe, by a few sticks. Ended up not having a great last game, either of us, so we weren't able to pull that out. Second place in doubles, though. That was good. It was great to bring in a new guy, never bowled on a challenge pattern or any sort of PBA pattern. So that was a blast because we had the practice session for everybody. We actually formulated a game plan for him. He followed it to a T. It just turns out the lanes played very similar. So we had a great time there. In terms of the singles portion, I'm still getting used to some of the new stuff we drilled after the new year, right before the new year. So it is a good opportunity for me to throw some balls. So we started with a troublemaker, found out that playing a little bit to the left there just wasn't any good. It wasn't any hang. The ball just didn't retain enough energy. So we balled into a theorem and we went off and running. I don't think I led, but I think Austin was the leader.
Austin was the leader for the 4-game qualifier.
I think I missed him by a few 10 or 15 sticks, I think.
Yeah, I went plus like 110, 120 the last two.
Yeah, we did a 2-game shootout where the 4 finalists all bowled on the same pair for finals. And the leader got 30 extra bonus pins. The second place finisher got 20 extra bonus pins. Third got 10, and the fourth got 0 as you bowled in the 2-game final shootout. So it was kind of an interesting way to end the day, I think.
Yeah, the definitely an interesting format. It made a difference, though, because I don't know how much I won by. I don't know if you two know.
It was like...
Oh, it's on your spreadsheet.
Yeah. It was on 25.
It was like 20 or 25 pins, I think.
So going into the first round, I had been in the theorem since game 2, had bowled fairly well, and we were on 3 and 4 where I shot 250. The lane, I definitely transitioned from a guy who bowled there previously. Don't know what they did to that pair, but it was not my friend. Funny enough, Austin, I think, struck out for like 201, 202.
7 counted. The second
On the
shot
field
on
ball?
10th, yeah.
Okay, so on the field ball, Austin throws 7. If I strike out, I shoot 202. I beat him by a stick, which gives you 10 extra bonus pins.
That's right.
So I ended up punching
Every
out.
pin counts.
I ended up punching out, beating him by a stick. So that actually basically made me very close to tied. I still think you were the leader.
Alex was leader after the
After
first
that?
game in the shootout, but the first 3 were within 15.
We were all,
pins,
yeah, we
I
were
think.
like 15 pins
Yeah, it
apart,
was
all
really
3 of
close.
us. And then the last game, I was just lucky enough to find a way. That was my low pair in qualifying. So my high pair was 3 and 4, where I shot 250. I shot 2-0 in that pair. Going to 7 and 8, my low pair of the day, which was 190, I ended up getting to like 230 on that pair. I bowled pretty well on it in qualifying. It just didn't seem to happen. The score didn't seem to happen. I left a bunch of 7s, a wrap 7s, try to make some moves. It just did never. The ball never got through the pins the way I needed it to go through the pins. So I can understand that. But we went back to that pair, and maybe I transitioned them a little bit by myself. Obviously, there is a little bit of wear and tear, so hopefully they did open up, and they did. So I ended up sneaking out the W. Never led that entire tournament, was just kind of sitting there waiting
in the wings, waiting to strike.
Yeah, and it was just
Like a predator.
It was just luck that that I ended up sneaking it out. I kind of just edged out the other guys by just waiting and not making too many mistakes.
I definitely made way too many mistakes
There
the
you
first
go.
2 games, but I walked by Kyle both first game and second game, and I said, I can't make spares. So the last 2 games, I only gave myself 2 or 3 chances each game to miss a spare,
Yeah.
and I happened to make those.
The last game you shot what, 279, 278?
278, yeah.
Yeah.
I was out of the cut at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, because Austin didn't get in the high game jackpot.
You won the last game.
I won the last game jackpot with a 221 game.
Yeah, got you, dog.
And
You can thank him.
yeah, thank you, and thank everyone else that didn't get in the jackpots.
He didn't share the money, just so everyone knows.
No, I did not. I needed to cash somehow. But yeah, pizza wings. Anthony is so inattentive when he bowls. No, he didn't know where he stands or how much he wins by or what he needs to win, or at least he claims he doesn't.
So winning by, yeah, I don't know how much I won by. I knew I didn't. You don't really need to know. I mean, like
You just got to get X's, man.
Yeah, you're close. So for me, I knew we were all within 15 pins, and I knew I was like roughly X amount from him, X amount from him. I can calculate score enough to where, hey, if I just win, I win. Right? Because I'm getting 30 extra pins.
Yeah.
So I would automatically basically win. So it was like a winner take all game. Winner go home, whatever you call it. So yeah, I mean, it was good. The theorem rolled really well. I was able to move in with that ball and get it to really corner off the edge, and then it also rolled pretty good when I was straight. The troublemaker was just a little too finicky when there wasn't enough volume on the outside part of the lane, which I've been having a lot of problems with the house shot lately. I don't want to say matching up because that's just not a thing on the house shot. Everybody matches up. I just think my balls are drilled too strong because most of the new stuff that I've drilled with the new grip is for tournaments and stuff like that. So I haven't really drilled anything that's weak or really cared enough to fix it.
House shot killer ball.
Yeah, I just haven't
That's
really.
right.
I haven't really cared enough to drill anything like that. So, I can't complain on the house shot. But also, I am working on controlling my front arm.
Your
Yeah.
front arm compared to your back arm.
Yeah, my front one.
Oh, your balance
Yeah,
arm.
You don't have a front and back arm, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know I talk weird, but I just
Some of us call that the balance arm.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's my front arm. I'm working on that. I worked on that on Sunday when we were bowling. I worked on that on Monday and Tuesday so far, and last night. I feel like I am getting a little better at it. I think it kind of keeps my my projection down lane a little straighter.
Yeah.
I think I roll the ball better. It comes off my hand in a little more of a power position. The only thing I just got to make sure I don't try to do too much with my fingers. I think that's the only thing is it allows me to be able to do more if I have to, and I think it just kind of naturally happens a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
since you mentioned that, something I've been working on as well because I got the flying eagle thing that I do with my left arm.
It's been a few people we've mentioned that.
Yeah,
Do
me
the
and
little-
Nick too.
The
Yeah,
little swoosh.
I mean, I've done that forever though. My left arm just flies up
I
in the
couldn't
air.
even tell you what mine does.
Well, ever since Mark Baker last week, I think we've been taking a little bit more of a deeper dive
Tell
into
you
looking
what.
at
Yeah.
it.
I tried to walk as straight as I could, and the ball definitely went straighter down the lane.
Oh yeah. And I've done the opposite. I've tried to drift left. But so I've worked on that, and wow, what a difference with the release. Keeping the arms not straight but
Stop.
stable.
Right now, Pizza Wings agrees for me. Mark it down. Hit the B button.
What's that? If you think about it, kind of makes sense. Back leg, front leg equals slide leg. Therefore, front arm coordinates with front leg. Okay. Okay. It's official. You two are both in another world on some other planet that we now know that we don't understand your language. Okay. We got it. Okay. Now you're a match made in heaven. Anyway, so yeah, the controlling, I'll call it your balance arm and not letting it kind of just freewheel out there definitely helps your release for sure. Stabilizes everything, and it for me it helped come through the ball a lot better, and keeps the release way more consistent.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I think your arm's a little more out to the side, right?
The
Left arm.
Oh yeah. Sideways
more
for
like
sure.
this way?
Sideways for sure.
I
Not
always
in front of me.
I always
yeah.
I'm like a dog sniffing on the ground.
Yes,
That's all.
yes.
I'm very fast. And I go like this.
Yep.
Oh, ow.
Yep. You're left to right on your front
Yeah,
arm.
I go like this.
Yeah.
And then that actually makes me go this way. So just to try it, I just try to keep it a little more stable, a little more to my right. And then actually, instead of opening back up this way like I would normally do, where my shoulders would get back to square, I try to roll my shoulder up.
Yeah. Which
forces my shoulder down, but also gets my hand under the ball better. So then my hand's underneath it a little bit more for a little bit extra action. That is something I'm working on.
ACT.
I do think that I am throwing it pretty well, regardless of the targeting, because we worked on last night. You were here. I do throw it pretty well, but when I move right, I've got to get that feel of getting around it without getting too far around it. But that's just is going to come in time with getting sharp and stuff. We just started our practice for our nationals teams.
Mm-hmm.
We had 13 people here last night, which is pretty impressive at 9:00 at night. Austin.
Cricket.
I was here in spirit.
I cracked my neck good.
Yeah, we were talking about kind of using Mark Baker's terms, like the earth. Like I was watching you throw the ball, and when you get to the right, you kind of were having a tendency to go from behind the ball, and then like from I don't know, we'll start at Mexico and end in Germany when you want to like end in
get around
like
big
China or
I
I don't know how to describe it. Yeah,
flip it off my hand.
right. But yeah, like because it's just for lefties, it's just unusual to be that far to the right. You know what I mean?
Do we need to bring a globe in?
Yeah,
No,
it would work.
no.
I mean, at least from my vantage point, I think I got that right as far as the countries go. But
I think
I'm not 100%
I
sure.
am thinking about it to see if you're right.
I have noticed my ball speed is going a little bit up too. I don't know if that's just because it's more in line and it's coming through
I
it.
didn't notice.
Yeah, I have noticed my ball is much more powerful out of the hand. But the other thing is like when I move right, like we said, my hand does gets a little bit around it. My hand always gets around it. But I feel like if I can just slow myself down and not try to really make a big movement with my shoulder to get everything in line, I can slow the ball speed down and also get that ball to shape more correctly with my hand in the correct spot. So
That's always my problem is just getting my hand around the ball too much too. That's when I get grabby. I go all the way around it.
I don't necessarily think I grab it. I think I just flip it up and I just cut it short. I don't grab. I just cut short and go to the right. I don't know. That's
I'm
different,
interchanging terms, I guess, but like that's my problem. Is
You cut it short.
I go around it. That's what your dad always says. It's short. He yells at me. Short.
Yeah, you are short. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
You are short. Yeah, you do get short.
Keep that wrist under the ball. Kyle.
Like Austin, like you.
And then what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, when I move right, just stay a little more firm on it.
Mhm.
Because like when I'm going right, there should be hook there. Like the ball should be hooking no matter. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be moving right because there's no hook. You should be moving right because there is hook typically.
Right.
I've been
For
trying
you,
to get
right.
my
Yeah.
father to understand that.
You don't have to try to do more.
He
You're gonna do the
moves
same amount.
right and he thinks he has to force the ball instead of just staying relaxed.
I mean, it's just probably natural for the body to do that. typically your body wants to change your tilt to make sure that the ball can react down lane to make sure you do have that hook.
What's up, Michael Polkey? How's it going tonight?
But we'll see what happens tonight. I brought some new balls tonight for fun. See what we got. Theorem and Hazmat. See how they roll, and maybe I can keep my fingers behind it, find the right ball, and kind of get comfortable in that zone or that area. So that way, when we go to the sport shots, I can know what that feel feels like.
Nice.
Because I got the feel. I just got to get the feel right. Got to stop thinking and just be more feel.
Nice.
I'm all feel. What do you think, Kyle?
I think that's great. I think we should talk about the PBA. How's that sound?
Yeah, I mean, enough ranting about me and my successes and how great I am in tournament club.
So, did it really matter, Kyle?
No.
Did
No.
it really matter
No.
between Purple Hammer and the Pitch Black?
No. So
Did
I
the change
messaged Nick Harris today. Nick Harris is one of our buddies. He's my doubles partner.
Seen him on the vlog.
Feel
if
bad
you've
for him.
watched.
So I said, Nick, you're good at funny jokes, quips, if you will. And I said, I need a title for tonight because clearly urethane is still in play because the guys are just shooting boatloads and they are shooting 300s all over the map tonight, and everyone is still using urethane. So that was the title for tonight, that the PBA rule changes flip the association 360 degrees, which means we're
Right
back
to the
where we
same
started.
spot.
Yeah. So to me, like, it doesn't matter. I couldn't care less. If the guys want to use urethane, they want to use urethane. But changing the rule clearly had no impact. And listen, I get it. Everyone's going to say it was because the bowling balls were illegal, or they changed to be illegal, or got softer over time, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that was the PBA's intention or the players' intention. I think they were just mad at urethane, and it clearly didn't matter because it's still in play and it's still just scoring a boatload. What do you think?
Well, due to the spherical image and how the radiation of gyration works. Yeah, I think the association is flipped 360 degrees. You're back to where you are. I don't think that urethane will be used as widely as the purple
Like
was.
as universally, like where you could use it on
You can
not
use it on a lot
every
of stuff.
pattern, but like a wide variety
the
of
purple
patterns
was
before.
pretty close. A
Yeah.
lot of the guys use purple almost all the time.
Like a lot.
I believe it's Justin Knowles, if my mind serves me properly, which is not a lot.
Good luck.
I believe it's Justin Knowles. He is a lefty two-hander for hammer. And from what I understand, he almost used the purple hammer exclusively for last year. And he's like a two-hander.
I wonder if he
So-
has. I wonder if we have like the actual stats on that.
Okay.
Because don't you have to report what balls you use in a block?
Yeah, but like, he used the purple hammer in every ball.
I
Like, he used the
wonder-
purple hammer as every ball. Is that
Right.
what
But no, yeah, but he's wondering
But
if
if
it's
he only
tracked
used
somewhere.
the purple hammer, he doesn't have
No.
to put any other ball down.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
I
yeah,
do wonder
correct.
if the PBA actually
like tracked it?
keeps it somewhere.
I'm curious.
That would be interesting. to
Kyle,
know.
get on it.
I will ask.
Email Tom.
So
Tom.
the purple has been used by him quite a bit. And then we see him today. He's pretty high up there. So if he's continually using very similar equipment with the black and because that has been announced, right? I mean, that was on Facebook,
Yes.
social media.
Well, they're using it.
They're
They had to
using
announce
it.
it before they used
So-
it. So
The black, which is quite a bit weaker than the purple.
The black barrel.
I have used it a few times. I've seen it be a little bit cleaner, a little bit straighter, like 4 and 2, less than the purple. It doesn't have that really defined hook shape. But if Justin Knowles is using urethane and the blue hammer, clearly we're probably going to see similar stuff to the urethane stuff. You see the IQ 78's pretty stellar right now.
yeah, they're mashing it with that
had
thing.
200s
Cortez,
with
yeah.
it.
Cortez is bowling really good with it. Anthony Levery-Spar just shot 300 with the black hammer today. So, and there's
300s today.
there's a lot of hammer players in the top cut, or not hammer, but I should say Brunswick players in the top cut. So, clearly they're doing something right. I have heard that quite a few Widow 3.0s have been drilled. I have seen a video on that. That ball looks pretty insane. So, I heard they went from black Pearl Urethane to 3.0 Widow. That was Tommy Jones's arsenal for the past few days, I've heard. I know Ogle drilled one. I'm sure they're going like hotcakes because that ball's pretty good. So.
A picture of Ogle's black urethane ball.
Looked like he rolled it in the parking lot.
Scorched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scorched.
I'm a little surprised. I mean, I've used mine a few times. I've used 500 and 360 on it. Kind of watched me throw it last night after I wore in the lane a little bit, and it's definitely not as good as the purple from where I was. I'll have to play with it a little more, but on the fresh, I threw like 6 strikes in a row with it.
Yeah,
and I was just a little straighter.
Yeah, and this the pattern we were on last night is a little less volume than what they're on. They're on 29 mils, and we were on 26, 25.
We were on like 25, but at the same time, we're bowling on 41 feet. They're bowling on 37. So
Yeah.
You're talking about way more free friction down lane,
Yeah.
way more peel probably off the gutter,
Mm-hmm.
way more concentration of oil in the front. So the ball's going to skid down the lane a little bit better too.
True.
So it's definitely urethane's not going to go away. I think it was just a ploy to get the purple hammer out of play.
Oh, for sure.
I think people were just sick and tired of being beaten by the purple hammer. I just think that's just kind of how it went down. So what are you going to do? CEO Ron Hickland's advocating 180 grit on the Black Pearl. I think he might be advocating it for the average player. He might be advocating it maybe for the other guys, but from the guys, I haven't seen anybody else throw it besides the pro guys. So their rev rates are all 450 plus or 400 plus. So you really I can't gauge off of what he's doing because he's not I don't think he's 400. He's got to be a little lower than that.
No.
So for him, 180 for him might be 360, 500 for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm stellar, but
And I think that makes sense. I think 180 is way too low for a higher end player like a PBA player. I think that'll
I think it just depends on the volume, though.
hook way too early.
I think it just depends on the volume, how the fronts are. Plus, they use Brunswick, so the Brunswick machines are a little bit different than the Kegel machines. So it depends on how everything plays out there, or how the lane surface is too.
How about the flip flop between Storm versus Hammer? Being Hammer was the go-to urethane, for almost a decade now. It hasn't been quite a decade since the OG purple, but and now all of a sudden it's only been one tournament so far, but the IQ has definitely seemed to be outshining right now. The black pearl.
A lot more Storm bowlers.
There are quite a few.
Yeah, but that's
out
always
there.
been the case.
There's a lot of
but they
Brunswick
always
guys.
do pitch black.
Yeah, but
It
Purple
just didn't
Hammer
score as well as purple.
that's what I'm saying. Purple Hammers always outshine pitch black.
I expect to
I'd
see.
have to see the scores with like the ball
I
itself.
yeah,
have to do some math myself.
I think the
There's
78's a little better right now, just because it's got a higher diff.
they definitely have more honor scores with it in the tournament.
For sure.
I just
And-
think it's sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say, and they even with that silly post on Instagram today that they said red is the new purple, which is a little weird to me to actually admit it. But
I think it's I don't know. I watched it go down the lane. I talked to a fellow lefty, Matt Fazzone, and he also did say that the red is just overall more hooked than the other ones they've had before. So, and when I mean hook, I mean left to right. I don't think it's front to back. He's looking more left to right. So
they're saying that the IQ hooks or has more left to right movement than the pitch black.
yeah.
Really?
Well, you would assume so
I guess
because
so.
being
It's
harder,
goes
it's going to
down
go down the
more.
lane further. Plus, it has a bigger core in it, which probably helps it slow down more, but also you're just going to create more overall motion with a bigger core.
Right.
So they're trying to offset the hardness with a little bit of a bigger block, it seems like. He said it was a little more overall than the other balls he's had. So, because he asked me, what do you think about the blue one and the NU? Yeah, look, there's an NU. There's a few bowlers, so the NU and the average rec bowlers erroneously thought it was purple replacement. Pizza Wings, Kyle did watch my blue roll down the lane last night. It is purple's replacement, to be completely honest with you. It's really close. Mine are, at least. I've figured out how to get them to roll great, and Kyle just shook his head watching me throw this yesterday. Because I could throw the black, the purple, and the blue and probably get away with going to the USBC Nationals with just those 3 balls.
It is surprisingly really good.
I drilled 3 of them so far. The last one is the best one, which is the one I threw last night, but I have got it very close. So, but yeah, I think it's interesting how the pros aren't throwing that ball. I do understand it's resin and it's not picking, or it picks up the lane shine quicker. But I'm surprised that it's not been more of an option than the black hammer. The black hammer is pretty relatively new. I remember getting mine. Wasn't even a month ago, I don't think. So obviously it's urethane, so it doesn't really change too much. But if you're trying to go off of from purple to the black, they're completely different. It did seem like they were really trying to push the blue as the new purple. So I'm surprised that very few players we've seen it gone down lane, very few of them.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any videos of the blue at the tournament.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And if the black's not working all that well, although
there's a lot of Brunswick guys up there.
Yeah. So or even a transition piece, right? To go from black to blue. I don't know. Unless if you transition out of it, you got to go big, right? You got to go from black to something really weak.
Usually.
Speaking of transition, I'm curious what the difference is transition-wise, or how it's going to be this year, having the 78U and if they do start throwing the new. Obviously, the new is still kind of surfacey, but it looks like for the most part, a lot of the 78Us are definitely on the shiny side still.
Like the balls themselves,
they look shiny going down the lane. Whether it's lane shine or
it's got to be lane shine.
But. Yeah, typically lower diameter balls, from what I understand, or lower or softer bowling balls, from what I understand, hold surface better. That's what I was told. So like when they raise it to 78, the balls don't hold surface like the purple hammer.
They keep like the where you sand it to better.
Yeah, so like if I take my purple and go to 500, and then I take my black and go to 500, throw the same amount of shots in them. From what I was told, the black will be a higher grit when you check it than the purple would be. The purple is going to hold that 500 longer, while the black one's going to go to 800, 900, whatever.
Right.
Which the blue hammer does not hold surface the best, in my opinion. It's a great ball. Kyle watched me mash two different blue hammers up at a tournament.
Only on a couple pairs though.
Except for 2 or 3. Out of 8. So it's not terrible. But out of those balls, they do shine up fairly quickly for me. So they would, in all honesty, if I was going to use that at a regional in 8 games, I'm probably gonna have 4. Yeah, because it's just
you need to, if the surface is going to change that much, you need to be able to get a fresh
surface. The resin doesn't hold surface as well as urethane.
Yeah.
Some balls clearly don't hold. They don't hold their surface as well as other bowling balls do. There's fact of that. Like you watch a ball, you're like, man, this ball just shines up quick. That blue one does. The black is probably second quickest. It goes blue, black, and then the purple holds it the best. So that's why a lot of guys like the purple too, because you could probably get 2 or 3 games out of it and then ball into a fresh one.
All right. So mission not accomplished for the PBA, or at least the PBA Players Committee, by not.
Well, we'll see.
Not getting the urethane out of play.
I don't think you can say that yet. We're on 37 feet. I mean, if the gutter's open and there's friction on the front part of the lane, because it is a Bolero center, so I don't know. I think they use Brunswick panels still, even though they still use Brunswick. I'm sure that the front part of the lane is still going to hook. So that and 37 feet, I'm going to assume that those guys are 100% going to throw urethane. Also, a guy that we bowled in the regionals, Will Vodelich, don't know how to say his name, lefty no thumber, basically exclusively uses urethane. I don't know if he's got IQ 78s because you can't get a black yet, because I don't think he's a staffer. Maybe he is. I don't know. So if he's got it, he can only maybe have 1 or 2. I don't think they really sent out more than 1. You could only get 1 when they sent him out. So he's got to be throwing some other stuff. But he was in the top 12 up until game 12. So I'm not saying that he doesn't use resin, but 98% of the time he's always got purple hammer. So I'm sure that he found some sort of ball to use.
Right.
Sorry to end.
No, that's fine. Now, score-wise, Tom Smallwood in the lead, averaging 240.
240.33.
Which good to see Tom Smallwood up there.
No urethane.
He's not a urethane guy.
Motive really doesn't have urethane.
That's right. Yeah, he's Motive anyway.
Koi polymer.
But he never. They don't. I never see one of the Motive guys using the microcell thing anyway.
I wonder what he is using. They didn't post anything from the PBA, so we wouldn't really be able to see what he's throwing. Tackett was on a rise.
Yep, Tackett's bowling. He's somewhere top 10. And so yeah, those two are doing well. But what do you guys think about the scores being as super high as they are for a major opening up the season? Are we
That's my complaint. It's a major.
Yeah.
Why are they averaging 240?
They're really good.
I mean, obviously, but you can make them not average 240.
Yeah. Obviously. I mean, look at the other majors that they bowl in the US Open and Masters and everything else.
Yeah, where they average 200.
Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to garner interest in the first tournament of the season. Like, I don't know if they think that the average Joe cares about high scores and thinks that it's, gets people to watch. I don't know if that's their mindset. I'm just speculating, guessing, trying to throw darts at the wall.
I believe Justin Knowles is the left-handed two-hander. I believe I'm correct. Yes, it looks like he is.
Yeah, Steely Bones. That's exactly what I was thinking. Do you think high scores will draw in that casual fan more? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is. But it's just a lot of strikes, I guess. So maybe. But I don't know why. Like, so you got the PTQ. Those guys averaged what, 220?
It was
about
plus,
120, wasn't it? Something like that.
It was 120 over, but I believe it was an 8-game block.
Yep.
To make the cut, it was plus 132.
Okay.
1582. So 132, 7-game block.
So
7 times. What did I say it was? I'll find out.
1500, 1582.
1532.
32.
1532.
Divided by 7.
I do know.
218. That's on
220.
Viper. That was on Vapor.
Yeah. So that Viper's 38 feet.
Yeah, they used something fairly close.
And it was a very similar pattern build. Just the shoot. What is this is Wayne Webb. The tournament is on Wayne Webb. It is like just built into the middle a little bit more, whereas Viper is the middle is flatter. So like the ratio is very close, but like if you were to look at the pattern graph, just by visual, the Wayne Webb looks more like a house shot and Viper looks more flat. So I guess the scores look or would assume to be harder or lower on Viper.
I'm just trying to find it. They don't have it. You can't download everything yet, I don't think. Like on the pattern.
The Wayne Webb one you can. Viper
I can pattern that down.
You can download Wayne Webb, yeah.
Well, I can't download it on Kasi. That's what I was gonna do.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. You can get the PDF though.
I was going to download and put it onto my computer and see what the ratio was.
Austin, you were gonna say? It's 2.5, I think.
Okay. That's
all
it is
I know
2.5.
is after 9 games of qualifying, first place was averaging 260.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's insanity.
How do you know it was 260?
I mean, there's got to be
Who's paying
7.
attention?
There's got to be 7 or 8 300 games already.
It was 260 for the first 6. That was the leader. Second was 250. You go in round 2, and then it was 244, and then it stayed right around 240.
There are exactly 7 300 games, yes.
Then round 3, it went to 240. I mean, they are dropping. I mean, obviously, I think first of all, these are the greatest players in the world, so you cannot knock how good these players are. Plus, if they're given the gutter, how hard can it be?
Right. Most of the time when they play to the right, the scores are pretty high.
Yeah, because they can get the ball to peel back, then it's move left, throw at it.
Right.
Boom.
I think that's what me and Kyle are getting at. The pattern may be too easy for a major.
Oh, really? Okay. So now we're going to go to 45 feet, and you're going to wipe the lefties out, so that way the scores are lower.
That's not necessarily true.
Really?
There's a 32-foot flat pattern that the U.S. Open uses, but you're not very happy with that one.
That one's stupid. I'm just saying.
Or I think it's 36 feet. Whatever.
I guess the problem is, I did see some complaining on the interwebs from people. about how it's not really made about shot making anymore. Well, that was ruined when the two-handers came into the game. The two-handers can just overpower the lane, which forced the one-handers to have to be different and better. And the lanes aren't really maintained, I don't think. I think they're made to have a nice look throughout. But I think, when you have guys who are working out now instead of drinking beers like back in the 80s or 90s, these guys are pretty ripped and they're physically pretty good condition. I mean, and with the bowling balls that the game has come along with, it's not their fault. I don't think you can really fault these guys for having high scores. If you're going to fault anybody, the PBA needs to put in a hardness rule that's harder, so that way the less oil gets absorbed, which means that when they put that much oil out, the blades can't transition as much. They can't transition as much, and therefore we don't really have to worry about all this overpowering stuff happening. I think if you made the resin stuff harder and kept the rules within where it is now, I think that the balls wouldn't be able to do as much, which means, hey, you'd have to be a little bit more of a shot maker. You really can't complain about the players scoring high.
It's not the player's fault. Not at all.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to give somebody 37 feet. I mean, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably going to whack it too.
You give these guys that are out there
That's what I'm saying.
a ball. You give a ball like what they got on a pattern of what they got, and they'll eat it up. They'll eat it for freaking breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I mean, they're doing it every day. But I do question. I do have a question. Did anybody watch Belmo's vlog of the first day that he bowled?
Did not.
Okay. I would highly suggest you go watch, because listen, I know Kyle doesn't like two-handers, whatever, Kyle. Look at him smile over there with that little
I love
smirk.
two-handers.
I watched Belmo bowl the first block of this, and it's like, I don't want to say he hasn't bowled, but it just seemed like he was kind of going through the motions.
Just walking up.
He's kind of just keeping
plopping
it
it out
close,
there.
bowling pretty all right. He's like, I made some mistakes in there. And then he goes out and he goes, well, here I come. I'm back now. And I'm kind of watching him like, well, it looks a lot more comfortable now. Looks like, he goes, I just came off the plane. I'm still jet lagged. And I'm like, hold on. If you were like really worried about it, you'd get here a few days before. You would have spent some time at Storm HQ. Then you would have made a short hop, skip, and a jump over. But he was like, I was just over at the pool with my kids because, it's Australia. So it's where he's like, just got off the plane, little jet lagged here. And I'm like, geez, this guy's really not too concerned about it. Still put out a pretty decent show. I'm pretty sure they got another block to go. But I was kind of surprised. I'm like, that just tells you how good the guy is and how good he can read the lanes and do it. But at the same time, I don't know if he's been practicing or not. But should that kind of happen? Should he look lackadaisical? Whatever you said. Should he look like that and be able to whack him that good? You know what I mean? And listen, he might have been practicing. I don't know. But when I watched him and how he kind of just acted and how he got off the plane, and he didn't seem too concerned with anything. And granted, I didn't see him in person, but then he turned it on the next day. Like he was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good now. It's just a little different for me. Like, because usually those guys go in and they're lasered.
Something tells me he is a mind game player. Like, if you had to cross with him, you would probably be screwed.
Well, actually, they're doing pretty good because Schneck crossed.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Unless you're like me and Anthony, we don't pay attention to the other people.
Right. If you're in your own world, that's good. But
yeah,
my all I'm saying is, like, if you see a guy's just like, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna walk up and just.
It was weird. He did have some bad games.
Yeah, sure.
Still,
but just not be fazed by it. That's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
And then just come in the next day and be like, all right, fine, I'll just actually start throwing strikes.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Guess it's time to get to
that
the
can
top
totally mess with your head.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So.
And he's like, yeah, I just figured out some stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
Man, you're figuring out as you go along. I mean, I'd be averaging 180 if I'm trying to figure it out and just go along. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just speaks about how pretty, how good he really is. I am going to look for him to see
180 if you're having a good bad day.
Yeah. Belmonte was shake it off 224 the day. But you watch his video. I kid you not. I watched the video last night. I'm like, is he being serious right now? Or is he just letting people get handicap on him so he can just run people over? Because then he went from that, and he didn't jump too much. I mean, he jumped up 5 pins. He went to 229, and then the first round of today, I don't know how he bowled because I hadn't seen the scores. It looked like he didn't have a great day.
Yeah, but he's in 15th now.
Oh, he's in 15th. I must
Yeah.
have missed him. Okay, he did have a good day. He went up another 5 pins.
Yeah.
So he will be averaging 240 by the end of this because he's gone up 5 pins every round.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he didn't seem concerned about it at all. So it was very interesting to watch. And I'm watching him throw the IQ 78, and I'm like, man, it doesn't even really look like he's kind of trying. Like he's just kind of keeping it, you know. It was just very weird. And then he was talking about his daughters texting him and stuff. I'm like, this dude's not even worried. He's like, oh yeah, this. Now he's not talking about the lanes. He's not talking about, well, you know, I'm in 45th after in a 90-person field. No, he's talking about, yeah, my daughter texted me 78 times because she's 8, and I'm like, dude, what are you like? We're not talking lanes. We're not drilling. He just didn't seem phased.
Yeah,
just didn't seem
not
like,
bothered
at all. No. Then he ran everybody over the next 2 blocks. Apparently, well, had to go pretty darn good the next 2 to go up 10 pins in average.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very interesting to see. But the lanes, they look scoreable. You can't, you know, I don't know what else you're gonna do, Kyle. What would you want?
I would just expect them to be a little flatter. That's all.
2.7
oil
flat.
Go to
Like we said, it's got the gutter. If the gutter's in play,
go to 1.5. Go to 1.7. You know, I'm just saying you got to make them a little harder just to bring down the average.
Does that really matter in a field this good?
In a field like that, I guess not.
Games that long, you've got four blocks to make a good run.
It just seems silly to have a 240 average. I mean, in my opinion, does it really matter? No.
So then, what's the point of bowling on Cheetah?
I don't know.
Cheetah's the highest scoring one, right?
I know. Yeah.
So
it's about the same.
Exactly. You're talking 37 feet versus 33 feet. Still very flat. But if the gutter's in play, these guys, they're gonna make it happen. These guys are good.
How about our buddy Billy O? He didn't really get to sniff a lot last year, and he's running in 12th right now.
I did hear he dropped down to 12 pounds. Not really. He went back to 15.
He did go back. Oh,
he went back to 15 halfway through the year last year.
Wait, so
remember we texted him he went down to 14.
Right,
he's like, hey, we got any chance you got a 14er lying around? He's like, nah, we're out.
Listen, Anita, I've never seen you even sniff the gutter, so I don't want to hear you asking about the gutter. All right.
The gray board does the same thing every time.
But it is definitely interesting to see how they're playing. I actually did sign up for a PTQ as they said they were opening up the field for Delaware. I did sign up. I am on the wait list, but I signed up because they opened the field up. I don't know if they've moved it yet.
Never say never.
But yeah, well, when they said they were going to open up, I figured, I'll throw my name on there and see what happens because it's only 4 hours. Been there before. I got a little bit of the lay of the land. Because why not? It's close enough. You know what I mean? It's only 250, and top third cash, and then if you make the cut, you got to pay the extra 250 to get into the main field. So, which doesn't make sense because if you cash, then why are they paying to get in the main field? PBA might want to rethink that.
No kidding.
That doesn't make sense
because I think it's a $500 entry or something like that to pay the main field.
Yeah, the main field's 500, but
right. So you pay 250,
and then you're
paying 250 to get into the main field.
You know what's you
get what I'm saying?
Why would you have to pay? Wouldn't you just be?
It should be like
in?
You won money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean? Yeah, I get what you're saying, but yes, they're saying, okay, you paid 250.
The winner gets
250. Now you won 7 games. So
give me another 250
yeah.
and see if you can cash against the best in the world. Like, just give me more money. So why wouldn't it be you win, get 250? Sorry, Austin. You win, get 250. The next guy gets 200, so then he owes 50.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, just give me more money, we'll see if you can.
No, but every guy that gets in owes 250, right?
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm asking all top like 10 or 15 guys that make it in.
But if they get 60 guys in the PTQ at 250 a rip and you don't have to pay for lineage, then where is that money
all that
going?
Money goes back into the prize fund.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just pay for the PTQ guys to get in? So that way it's like, hey, you guys did a good job. Good job, guys. We're friends. Thanks for coming.
And are they getting in the next week or no? Did they change that rule? They still didn't change that rule back?
I don't know.
So
Jesus.
You should know, member.
Talking about PTQs here. On Storm's post about Cortez's one of his 300s.
He was a PTQ.
There was multiple comments asking why in the world is the rookie of the year
Agreed.
bowling in PTQ?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Agreed.
I was thinking about this in the shower today. I'm not gonna lie.
So we got people that are just watching videos on Facebook. Obviously, they know enough about it to question that, but people are asking about it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't understand. It makes zero sense. I think we've talked about it enough. I'm not going to elaborate. The fields are too small. The PTQ makes no sense. If you're going to make these guys actually bowl, the cream's always going to rise to the top. Plus, they get the truck and they get all the ball reps know them a little bit better. I mean, there's just a better odds that they're going to make it. So why are we capping the field? I just don't understand it. And now this rookie of the year, yeah, great. Here's your trophy. By the way, you got to bowl every PTQ.
Listen, it's fine. It's fine to cap the field, and it's fine to have a PTQ. They've been doing that for ever. That's as long as the PBA's been around. They've had PTQs and they've had the main field.
But they've had the fields where 120 people.
Understood. But what I'm saying is,
instead of 60,
you can't. If you get in 1 week, why should you have to get back in again? Like, you should have, if you get in 1 week, you should be automatically in the main field again next week. Like, you earned your spot into the main field.
Is Brad Miller bowling this week?
He bowled and did not make the main field.
That's what I thought.
He had the PTQ and he did not make it in.
I know he's a PTQ guy now.
Yeah, he was
his name was above mine
pro.
in Delaware.
So
that's a rough way to go.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, if you are a PTQ bowler and you make it in 1 week to the main field, why do you have to go back down to the PTQ again?
I don't even care about that. I'm talking about the rookie of the year.
I get you.
What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's 100% necessary to just throw them in. If you win something, you should be in the main field.
I'm sure they're going to say, well, he's a rookie. There's not as big as a field. Well, it doesn't make a difference. But how do you also justify rookie of the year if you have like one guy who got points?
Right.
Oh, you won because you made one main field event.
Well, that's the thing too, is that the rookie of the year qualifiers, or nominees, I should call them.
How do they get real points if they're bowling PTQs every week? Like, do you give points based on PTQs, or are you giving points based on how many main fields you made? Because then the person who makes the most main field, I guess technically,
yeah,
he would just win. Yeah, but what if
I can't imagine it's PTQs because I don't know that those are technically PBA events, right?
I don't know. I'm confused. My brain hurts. This is such a roundabout process. It makes no sense.
Well, yeah, but I don't think you get points for them. Can't get points for them.
No.
Can't get points for them because you're not competing against the other PBA players.
Wrong. You got to be a PBA member.
I understand.
So why wouldn't you get points to make it?
Because the other guys didn't have a chance to make points at that point.
Well, they get automatic points from bowling every week.
Yeah, but
they're the guys who are
in the top.
I don't know the rules. We don't know the rules there.
Whatever it is, if you're exempt,
top 40, 60,
sure,
the exempt list.
Yeah, the exempt list, you literally get points almost every week. You have an opportunity. These guys have to make the field every time. So like,
I definitely agree.
Yeah, so I'm like, a guy who's like 40th every week and gets, let's say, 100 points is always going to be guaranteed an opportunity to get 100 points, while the PTQ guys got to get in and then be in the top 40. Makes zero sense. Yeah, Kyle, we're back.
Did you guys watch
No.
the Elite League?
No. What day was it?
Did you?
I watched about 10 minutes of it.
I watched their posts about what was going on, and I saw that most of the games were sweeps.
Yeah, yes. I saw something on
FaceBase
or Instagram, and I just scrolled by.
So
sorry, I can't wait to hear Kyle's take. Kyle's hot take.
As soon as Mark Baker, who was on the show last week, as soon as he was like, yeah, I'm only gonna make it to the two TV episodes that I have to go to, I was like, wait a minute. So you're not going to all of your team's events to coach them or manage them, whatever you want to call it. So then they're managerless. And then some other teams will have managers and other teams won't. So, for example, the other night when the league was on, one of the teams had a manager there, the other teams didn't. It was weird. And it's like, if you're going to do something, meaning the league, do it right. Don't half-ass it. Either have the managers there or don't. But one team shouldn't have an advantage over the other because you're not going to pay the guy. If you're going to have them be a manager, pay the guy to be a manager. And I understand Mark's got a business to run and everybody else has a pro shop or a business to run. But if you want managers, then they should be fully invested into being a manager of that team and be there managing the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why and this is not the only problem with the league. Watching it on Bowl TV was atrocious. We're just watching one camera angle from the back. They're just milling around. I have no idea what's going on. 4 camera views in one shot, by the way, which a lot of people liked. I couldn't stand it. I was watching on my phone, so it was terrible. But anyway, I know I'm the complainer. You can call me Angry Elf, whatever you want. But that whole thing with...
Was there any energy?
No, zero energy.
Were there people watching
on the stream?
No.
Oh, I don't know, because how would I know? Can't see anything other than tops or just the backs of the bowlers' heads, and then a bowler bowling.
They don't have a viewer count, probably.
No, he's talking about in the house.
Oh, live?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
There had to be people there, but
fans were behind.
Yeah, but there was no way of knowing.
No.
And they separated all the pairs by a pair. So there was 4 teams bowling, and they were 4 matches bowling, and they were all separated by a pair. So, there's a lot of empty space. It just wasn't exciting to watch on the stream. But as far as, I don't know, you want to call it fairness or whatever, you've got some teams with managers, some teams without. It just seems fake, They're bowling for real, but it just seems fake.
More as a practice session.
Yeah.
I did. I'm looking on their website right now, and they eventually are going to have individual player stats for the league.
Yes, they will.
We'll get to know their strike percentage, stuff like that, I'm assuming.
Right. But like Mark said, he's only required to be at the TV show ones. So it's like, well, we just want you to be at the TV show one so it looks like we're doing it for real.
February 3rd.
But when it's not on TV and it's just live streamed, you don't have to be there because we're just faking it.
Well, I mean, I can see that.
Well, yeah, you can see it, but why are we doing it then? If it's not real, then why are we just BSing it?
I don't know. Kyle, I can understand where they're coming from, where they can't have the people fly out all the time. But
if they paid the coaches,
yeah, but I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But if they don't want to pay the coaches, then don't have the coaches.
That's the other thing. I mean, I just don't think they're gonna pay the coaches, so they might as well just not have any. Or they should have player managers at least.
If that's
instead of a different
exactly
because Belmo has an advantage in a sense now because
exactly
he's on the lanes and he knows more. I mean, I shouldn't even say an advantage because all the players obviously see it, but they have to manage themselves while Belmo's making the rules.
Right. So maybe Mark
was Parker Bone there this week.
I don't even remember.
I'd hope so. Seeing as his son's bowling in the tournament, I'm pretty sure.
But who's he again?
Parker Bone.
At least he bowled. No, at least he bowled the PT
team. Jerk.
Waco Wonders.
Oh yeah, so they did bowl. Manager. I don't remember if he was there.
Just
what if they took the Elias Cup team or players from the tour on the exempt list and made them coaches instead of having coaches that aren't bowling necessarily on the tour? You have someone that's there every week.
Here's your answer, Austin. Here's your answer.
Here we go.
Ready, everybody? Okay, your ball reps are now your coaches.
Ooh.
And you have a Brunswick, a Hammer, a Columbia team, a Storm, a Rotogrim team, a Niner team. And you do it that way, and your ball reps are already there, and you do it that way.
Done and done.
They're already out there. Might as well just use them.
Yep.
You're welcome. Again, you can take my idea again. That's fine. I don't need any credit. I'm
Said
just
it
saying,
last year.
they're there. Might as well use the ball reps.
I agree with you.
Make it 3-man bakers. I don't know.
The people out there or the people that are currently the quote unquote managers are a little more well known than the ball reps.
Okay. Really? Who's the offensive coordinator for your Dolphins?
I don't know.
Who's your defensive coordinator?
Man, talk about the Dolphins.
Listen,
tough game ahead of them.
I'm just saying.
No faith. Anyway.
I'm just saying. Who's the defensive? First of all, Mike McDaniel's your head coach. He is the head dude. He's big time. Yeah, we get it. Who's your defensive coordinator?
Told you. I don't know.
Exactly
I don't care.
My point. So then why does the freaking coach matter? Nobody goes to watch the coach play the game.
True.
If I want to go watch the best coach in the world,
60% of fans.
Bill Cowher, he's
think-
on TV. I ain't gonna go watch the coaches mean zero. So nobody goes to watch the coaches. So who gives a flying rat's ace who the coaches are? I don't. I sure
To be
don't.
fair, there is not a lot of diehard bowling fans.
I think there's more diehards than you
More
think.
than you think, Austin.
But I don't think
Bite
that,
your tongue.
There's
I don't-
definitely more than I think.
I don't
but
think the coaches matter. The coaches are irrelevant.
But
it doesn't matter who's coaching.
As
or
far
not.
as the viewer experience,
Pinocchio could be coaching, and if somebody wants to watch Belmo, they're gonna watch Belmo. They're not
as
gonna watch Pinocchio.
far as the viewer experience, yes. But as far as having a coach there versus not having a coach there,
That's what I'm saying.
you shouldn't have one team that has it and another team that doesn't because you're not willing to pay.
Is Belmo really a
them.
coach though? Technically, he's another player. He's
I
just a player
understand that.
still.
I understand that.
So use the ball reps. Boom.
Pizza wings. I'm a fan of both Die Hard and bowling. Me too.
I just
Pizza
think
wings, me
that
too.
you think about it. You got Mark Baker
It's a
from
Christmas
Storm.
movie.
You got Wolf from Brunswick. Okay, they have their own teams. Boom, Storm, Brunswick. Then you got Roto Grip, and you got I don't know, Columbia. You got Dino Castillo, and then Roto Grip has somebody else. I don't know the ball reps a lot from Tim Mack, is it or whatever? Whoever Roto Grip's got as a ball because I don't know them as well. They've got their own team. They manage the team. It just makes so much more sense. They are already at the events.
I agree with you. I like it.
Kyle's agreeing with
I
me.
told you I agree.
Kyle's
I
got
told
a
you I
hefty
agreed.
email to write.
I agreed with you with the whole manufacturer team cup thing that you came up with instead of doing this I don't know, elite league anyway.
Whatever they got going on right
Yeah.
now.
So having
have
the
good
ball
ideas
reps
sometimes.
doing the coach or managing would already be icing on the cake. So there you go. Get rid of these managers.
Foes.
Parker Bone. I mean, give me a break.
He can still bowl on the team.
You could do
Still
what
be
he
a
does,
player.
Kyle.
He can still be a player. Obviously, they won last year. Lefty Love. Lefty Love. Oh, Lefty Love.
What are you
Um,
doing?
That's my new
Yeah,
shirt.
it's your call sign.
No, it's my new shirt. I've been working on the logo. Lefty Love. Anyways, I mean, you can still keep it on the team. I'm just saying it makes a lot more sense
Mm-hmm.
to do it that way
Mhm.
than to do it any other way.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you. I like it. I go for it. Call Tom Clark.
Nope.
Get him on the horn.
Nope.
And
I thought you were writing the email.
all right.
You
I'll
already
write
did.
the email. You send it. I'll give you his email address.
Little
Scared.
copy pasta.
No, I'm not particularly too worried about it. They can do whatever they want and do it how they see fit. Maybe they have bigger plans than that, but like we said, the signing would be way more important. Everything like that.
All righty.
It's backwards on camera.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be this way.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, guess what? We had a huge jump in ratings this week, so thank you all for tuning in and listening and
Podcast.
watching.
April.
Please share with your
Apple.
friends
Spotify.
because
Apple.
because that's all contributing to our growth and help us out in the Etsy shop and whatnot. And subscribe, click the bell to get alerts, do all that good stuff. And you can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. It is time for us to go bowling, so we will see you soon, Steely Bones. And yes, Jeremy, we agree, free TW. And I will leave you all with this very shortly. I'm not going to say much, but I will say always look for the truth when it comes to your bowling family. Look for the truth. All right, folks. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. That being said, thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Austin, great show tonight. Anthony, good show. Ow. Let's see. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan. We will see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.
Jam
Nah.
bread.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
I ain't letting them forget it.
oh.
So we'll catch you next week.